This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here today speaking with négociant Aurélien Fiardet. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, yeah, thanks.
Now, it's not often we get the chance to speak with a négociant. Tell me a little bit about your job and what you do on a day-to-day basis.
So I'm the export sales manager of Terroir Originels. So it's a collective of independent growers from Beaujolais. So it's like a consortium. He has been created by the producer, by the grower themselves in 1997. And the reason was to mutualize costs for selling their wine, but also for production, because they create a group to buy bottling device, buying glass, buying printing labels.
Yes.
So you allow them to stay small and stay competitive in the market, and to save cost for development, especially on the French distribution, because they own a warehouse where they can consolidate and ship orders. And they hire me about like 14 years ago to develop the export market for them.
All right. And how many growers are we speaking about here?
So now it's nearby 40 growers.
Okay.
So the rules for the growers to be a part of the collective Terroir Originels, it's only making wine with the vines that they own. So it's a very important detail.
Right.
Especially coming from Beaujolais, where 80% of the wine offered from Beaujolais are coming from négociants.
Yes.
So négociants are the big guy buying bulk wine and blending everything together, and they print a label, a brand, and they label it and bottle it to ship it. And that's millions of bottles produced. Yeah. So that's the big négociant. Terroir Originels is not that. It's just a group of growers, so they only make wine with the vines that they own, and it's all like small wineries. So the average is like 50,000-60,000 bottles produced per winery, and for each wine, it's maybe 1,000 cases maximum.
Right.
Produced.
So definitely a quality-minded cooperative.
Yeah.
And how many of the Cru do you make wines from in Beaujolais?
There is 12 appellations. The most famous, it's Beaujolais Village.
Of course, yeah.
That you can see a lot in November because we have a right to sell it as nouveau. Yeah. Since several decades now. That's what put Beaujolais in the map and well known in the world. But after we totally forget about the 10 other appellations, which are the Cru of Beaujolais, and they exist since a long time because the first one appeared in the 20s, 30s, mid 30s. So they are even founded before the Beaujolais Nouveau, but we totally forget about them. There are 10 crus. The most famous are Morgon, Moulin à Vent, Fleury. But that's just 3 of them, The last one was Régnier. Régnier was founded in 1988. That's the last cru.
Yes. Yeah. Now, you actually have just had one of your wines released in the Ontario market, the Chénas.
Yeah, Chénas is one of them. It's actually the smallest appellation in Beaujolais. So we don't know a lot about Chénas. It's mostly sold in France.
Yes, yeah.
So we don't see a lot on the export market. Yeah.
So how would you describe your Chénas to anyone looking at this bottle on the shelf in Ontario right now?
Yeah, so the wine is Chénas Vignes de 1939, which is the age of the vines.
Right.
Vines planted in 1939, so pretty old vines coming from Chénas. And it's produced by Pascal Aufranc, the producer. So he's based in Chénas itself. He has the typicity, of Chénas, which I refer to the style of the wine, and a lot of floral, peppery, spicy notes, and some stone fruits. That's really the typicity of Chénas. It's not very far from Moulin à Vent, located next to Moulin à Vent. It's a higher elevation vineyard. When I say higher elevation, it's like 1,200 feet.
Right.
So it's the limits of the tree forest, on high on a hill. So the good news about that, there is no interaction with other vineyards. Like it's totally insulated from other vineyards, and it's very steep because it's on a hill. So it's a very steep drain soil, very thin soil composed of sandy, granitic, with some quartz and some iron, because we're not far from Moulin à Vent. Moulin à Vent is famous for the presence of manganese, the iron mineral in the soil, which give a lot of complexity, some structure, some polyphenol to the wine, capacity to age, but also a nice minerality. And minerality brings complexity, but also freshness in wine, and capacity to age too.
Traditionally, what would one pair a Chénas like this with, food-wise?
So it's really a Beaujolais with some, medium full body because of the age of the vines. We have more concentration in the juice, So it's a serious style of Beaujolais, and I would go with some, poultry, some roasted chicken, but you can have also more, elaborated dish like some games, some Vanessa or some boar. Because the wine definitely has some tannins, and it's very spicy, peppery, and very floral at the same time. It's a very complex wine with different layers, aromatically and in a palate too. There's a lot of complexity in this wine for the money.
Now, you mentioned the aging potential of a wine like this. It's drinking very well right now, but how many years do you think it would take for it to reach its absolute peak?
So it can age easily 10 years, I would say. And after, it depends what you like in a wine. But it's the vintage of this wine is 2018. It's a warm vintage, but pretty balanced because the fruit set was very high. It was one of the last kind of generous vintage that we got in Beaujolais. It was pretty normal yield. So that allowed to have a good balance between sugar and acidity. It was not like too concentrated like 2019 or 2020, our bolder wines, So 18 is pretty balanced, good acidity to age. So that's why I would say 10 years. But the one will evolve from like fresh, a basket of berries to like a drier, more like kind of stone fruit, more like kind of a brandy, cherry, kirsch, or plum brandy. After, I would say, 6-7 years.
Right. It's a shame we don't often, most people in Ontario aren't really experienced with aged Beaujolais. I think it gets guzzled pretty quickly over here and don't understand the complexities that can come about through the better Beaujolais with a bit of age.
I open like old Beaujolais a lot. I do a lot of tasting with older Beaujolais. A lot of people are amazed because they can buy a bottle like $20, they can age it 10 years, and they never saw that before. But it's very similar to Burgundy in terms of aging, and we say Beaujolais, when it gets older, it peanuts because it gets some characteristic of the Pinot Noir, with stone fruit, dry flowers, and licorice, a lot of licorice with the age in Gamay.
Well, thank you very much for joining us at Good Food Revolution today. It's a holiday Monday here. I will be posting this on Good Food Revolution tomorrow, Tuesday. Thank you very much for giving us an insight into this release in Ontario. I'm looking forward to tasting some myself in the not too distant future. So best regards from Ontario, and maybe we'll see you in Ontario at some point in the future.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.